Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary and Ronald Records. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. Guarantee you're going to like them. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hey, what's good, y'all? I'm Marquise.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, what you do. Give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Yeah, no problem. So I go by the name of Marquise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually a producer and a rapper as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
Absolutely. I'm a songwriter, and it's been really fun. And yeah, I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Hell yeah. Well, I was checking out some of your music earlier. I am super excited to dig into all of the facets of what you do. But let's go ahead and get started right at the beginning. What got you started with music initially?
Honestly, I can look back to going to church, man.
Okay.
Going to church with my family and seeing that music consistently, along with my older brother. He was a really big influence early on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he music in the church, or was he just doing music?
He actually played the drums in church.
Oh, damn. Okay.
My mom, yeah, and my parents, they sang in a choir and everything, so it was at practices and things like that. So that was kind of a constant ear for me.
Yeah, so you're second generation musician.
I mean, in a way.
Yeah.
My grandfather was actually a musician.
Third generation. Okay.
Yeah, he had a band called the Cavaliers back in the day.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Why does that sound so... I feel like I know that name.
Yeah.
Damn.
You might. It was playing in the 70s.
Yeah, that sounds super familiar. I'm going to have to double check that after this.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. It's cool. It's cool that it's kind of, traveled through.
It's pretty crazy.
And did your brother do stuff outside of the church for music, or was that kind of his whole space?
Oh, no, he rapped and he made beats too.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him every single day. We got to the point when I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
We were kind of going through stuff, and I had always used to just beat on the tables at school and stuff. And I was I'm tired of using pens. I want to literally make a beat. And I used to see him every day. And one day I was just like, dude, what's up? Why don't you just show me? And he was like, oh, really? So he literally was like, this is what you press. This is all the samples.
Oh, damn.
I'm not even going to get in your way. Just figure it out.
He was just waiting for you to ask.
He just said, figure it out.
Damn, that's dope. What was he using?
FL Studio.
Okay.
Still use it to this day.
I was going to say, is that the one
my
you're
baby
using now?
That's my baby.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That is, it's never one I got into, but I would be hard pressed to deny that there have been some cool things that come out of FL Studio. Ooh. It is a capable program when put in the right hands.
Yeah. I made basically everything from it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And now, before we get into more of what you're doing with it now, we have a couple foundation questions we check in with everybody on. And this first one, it's one we ask early, it's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
I've been blessed enough to not have bought my first album. I guess maybe like streaming would count if we go that way.
Okay, so if you've never like bought tangible medias, because believe me, I get that answer a lot. The alternative version to the question was, what was the first album that you like listened to cover multiple times? Like you were like, this is the album that like made albums for me.
Good Kid, Mad City.
Okay. Oh, man, coming out of the gate swinging with that one.
That was the one I got for Christmas.
Damn.
And I was like, and my mom got me the explicit version too. So
Okay.
I was like, oh yeah, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, we're good.
I don't think that album would work right. Like, not that I'm like, it has to always have, but I don't think that album works right if you censor it.
Oh man, no. You got it. I got to hear everything.
Yeah.
You know? And you know how like me and my brothers were like, we'll find it.
Yeah. I mean, once the internet showed up, I think you didn't really have an option to choose whether or not the kids heard it or not.
No, not really.
Yeah.
It was going to be there. I mean, we watched all type of stuff growing up. I mean, at some point it was just like,
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But no, but I mean, that's definitely a solid early experience.
Yeah.
How old were you when you got that?
What was that? That freshman or sophomore year, I believe.
Okay. So like a truly integral time for music to be inspiring.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
And I've heard stuff before that.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Well, I mean, there's been quality music for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But like at a certain age, you get to that moment where like you pick up something that you're like, this will become like something that means something.
Yeah. And that was the one for me.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you still have that CD?
It is somewhere in my drawer.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
No. I never threw that away.
Hell yeah.
I couldn't. That and Raw Footage by Ice Cube. I couldn't throw it away.
No. See,
I couldn't throw them away.
My CDs all got stolen at one point.
Oh,
I know. So I can't say I have any of my early ones, but I kept them for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But then what was one of the first live shows you ever went to? That was like one you wanted to go to. So like you saw it was happening, you got tickets, and you went to it.
Again, shout out my brother Anton, man. Mm-hmm. There was a group called Renaissance Coalition.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these guys still know them, still love them to this day, right? And I mean, they still good, they still cool, you know, but they don't really make music like all together anymore, which is crazy. Like they all hate each other up. But it was at a cathedral at Reed College.
Okay.
And that was the first show I've ever gone to.
Damn.
Right? But I got to like participate. It was a great night. It was amazing. Yeah. So it was Renaissance Coalition. We had Maze performing, Zoo performed, my brother was DJing, and forgive me, y'all, because I do not remember who else performed that. But we had a great time. It was amazing.
That's all right, man. Yeah. I haven't heard Maze in so long.
Oh man,
that's a name that like. Whatever happened? You know what? No, we'll talk about that camera. Damn, like that is a name that I kind of want to look up now to see what he's doing now.
Oh, Popular and Bobby No Good was my favorite. That's my favorite from him. Period. That's slap.
Damn. Okay. Cool. I appreciate you bringing up that name. Like I said, I kind of want to check him out, see what he's doing now.
Yeah. Shout out Maze, man.
Oh yeah, yo. If you want to be on the show, Maze, come on. But. That's enough about him. Let's get back to you. Yeah. And before we get into what you're doing in the current day, do you have like a defining moment where you were like, this is it? Like, I want to take music more seriously?
It was after I made my last project.
Okay.
Because I had always just like made beats and stuff, you know, try to get them out to people.
Yeah.
Let them rap to it, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But to actually commit to writing that project was the thing. I had made one beforehand. I'm a big wrestling fan, right? So I made this project called Attitude Era. Mm-hmm. And I wrote to that, and it was cool. I like a couple of them now. You know, you go back and listen to it, you're like, it was tight, but it was rough to listen to sometimes. But when I made The Art of Change, that was what did it, because of the words that like came out. You know, sometimes you don't understand where that's really gonna come from. Yeah. Until you kind of go through stuff, and then you can just put it down on paper. Then it just, you know, I produced the whole thing except for one track. Our homie Plib produced one track, excuse me.
Hell yeah.
Called Last Laugh. But man.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of it sounds like you've been doing music for a long time. So it's interesting that like such a late definition, but like it sounds like it was the most impactful one for sure.
Yeah, that was the one.
Hell yeah. But now let's go ahead and let's get on into you in the present day. Yeah. And we're going to get a super easy one out of the way. How'd you pick the name?
Oh, yeah, that's easy. It's the name my mom and my dad gave me.
Perfect.
You know, it's my actual first name. I went by Keith the Great for a little bit, and that was cool. Yeah. I was like, this is where like the Kendrick thing and like the J. Cole thing was kind of inspired by like real names. Yeah. I might as well just go ahead and go with my first name. You know, I'm not gonna say put my last. That's a long name. You know,
I'm in the same boat. Boat.
Yeah, so it's like 20. So I'm not doing that. But my first name for sure.
Hell yeah.
Sure, and it has a good meaning behind it. So it's like, yeah, it works.
Oh, what is the meaning behind it?
Well, so I looked it up. It's like a diamond and it also means a noble Frenchman.
Whoa.
That's as far as I've gotten so far.
Fair.
But also, obviously, they pronounce it in France as Marquis.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's a little different. But it's still the same thing. So it's like the name on the show, obviously, which is like, interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Hell yeah.
Kind of funny.
I appreciate that you did the effort.
Yeah.
And like it's cool because it's like it's not a different name per se, because like, you know, you're not the only person with that name in regular life, but like as a musical name, it definitely like grabs it, like it has like an attention to it. And like I'm a big fan of like the way things look as like a logo.
Me too,
and just like the apostrophe. I love apostrophes. I think that they like this that little bit of accent just goes a long way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've got one in Jimmy's. It's a possessive noun, but like I think it hits a little bit different.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of cool. I mean, people forget it a lot. It's kind of funny.
Oh, you know,
there's so many different ways to spell Marquise.
Some things also don't let you do like certain things, like when you type stuff in. Yeah. Like you know, I think Spotify doesn't let you put like certain symbols in and things like that. It's like, you know, it just not everything lets it happen the same way. So it's like annoying when you're like, I want to be different with punctuation, and they're just like, no,
not gonna happen.
Yeah, so I could get that, but I feel like once you make your own logo, and like I feel like those are the kinds of things where like if you make that part like extra defined, so like you make it like this big when the rest of the logo is like this big, like it becomes undeniable. Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go.
Might give you an idea.
Yeah, well, hit me up after, and we'll come up with some fun stuff.
Absolutely.
But getting back into this, let's go ahead and talk about your writing style. And we're going to break it up into chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning. So when you get inspired, you're ready to make music. Right. What are some of the things you do to get a track started?
That also, it's always going to start with the beat for me.
Okay.
Always.
And so do you make your own beats now exclusively, or do you like still get them from other places?
Well, for a while I've been doing it exclusively. Now there's other friends that we partner with, like Solomon, the homie Trox. We also got a friend named Press Rewind.
Okay.
Out in the East Coast. Older, he's one of our OGs, like super cool. But he's like a part of NBG as well. And so that's pretty much it. If I'm not gonna do it, I'm gonna hit them for sure.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna hit them. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna try to do it first.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when in Rome.
Yeah.
But then once you get a beat picked out, how do you go about like putting like the words over? How do you go about putting the rest of the song together?
That could take either a day or it can take a month. It depends on how I'm feeling, like in the moment. I like to write about what I'm going through. So yeah, that can take weeks, man. It can take weeks. Sometimes maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, a year.
Hey, I mean, the creative process is a process in its own right, but like it's got to come from a place of like the right place at the right time kind of thing. Do you write all your own stuff? Do you freestyle? How do you go about like putting this, like the words together?
No, I write for sure.
Okay.
I can freestyle. I'm not bad at it. Yeah. I can give you some bars off the top of my head, but
and
definitely turn the beat on right now. No, honestly, I think of myself as a writer, like a really good writer. And so just put my life on the lines, man.
Hell yeah.
Simple.
Hell yeah, I could dig that. Yeah. And I mean, there's no wrong way to do it. You know what I mean? Like I say it all the time on the show. Like I've seen people who are just good at both. And like at the end of the day, if the end result is as quality as yours seems to be, you did it the right way. Yeah. And I mean, you know, I was checking out some of your music and it looks like, you know, do you release exclusively on Bandcamp?
So this is the thing. It's kind of funny with that. So I always drop on Bandcamp, always drop on SoundCloud. It's supposed to be on DSPs, but there's something interrupted and I have to figure that out.
Oh, interesting.
That's a whole nother thing. But it is exclusively on Bandcamp and SoundCloud at the moment, yeah.
Okay.
But it'll be everywhere soon.
Hell yeah. Well, I was going through your Bandcamp and it looks like you've got music going back to 2020 on there. And you've got a lot of music. You've got like 17 different releases and they're all in like singles, EPs, albums. And like some of them are like the beats you made. Some of them are like beat projects. Some of them are like your words. Some of them are like things with like people. But like it was a good variety of stuff. Like every time I like tried to dive into something, I was like, damn, if I start diving into this, I'm just going to go off on this thing. And like, I need to like see more of what he does. So I rarely do this, but I decided to dive more into your most recent thing. And before I get into that, I do want to say, like, I was checking it out, and like the other people that you keep good company with, your sound is very consistent. Like, even your earlier stuff, like, I could hear you in your delivery.
Right.
It felt like you did it with intention. It felt like it was very well done for the time that it was. But there's still that consistent growth all the way up. There was never one where I was like, oh, actually, I kind of like the thing before more than the thing I kept checking out after. But I was checking out your most recent album, and forgive me, I did not ask you before we started. How do you pronounce it?
It's Deshaun.
Deshaun. Okay.
Yeah, it's Deshaun.
I was feeling like that was it, but I didn't want to look like that guy.
The Z will throw you off.
Yeah, I was like, is it Deshaun? Is it Deshaun? Like, is it a silent Z? Like, how's he going for?
Yeah.
But Deshaun's Way, by Bugatti, I was hooked.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just as soon as that track hit, I was like, yep, I'm going to listen to this whole thing. And it was just, it was so much fun. All the beats hit, the flow was solid. Every track had its own feel. And I said, I rarely do this, but my personal pick comes from your newest work. And it was Lost and Found. That track just, like, I mean, somehow you made the beat its own powerful bar. Like, you found words, you put it in it, you made it part of it, but it was still the beat, which just kind of blew my mind. Like, usually you put words behind words, and it just becomes so distracting so quickly. And but you nailed it. I mean, it was like, it added something kind of wholesome. And then your voice just like stayed so present. Like, it was over the top of it all the time. And I mean this in the best way. It reminded me of like early Lupe. Like Food and Liquor Lupe.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah, like it like, and I even had to like go and double check afterwards. I was like, I keep hearing, and I went and I listened to like a little bit of that, and I was like, that's exactly it right there.
Yeah,
like, it just had that in it, but like not so much in the like you sound like Lupe, but there was this presence. Like every line that you kind of gave in that track made me want to keep listening to the next line of the track. And I think that's a really powerful approach to have. And the whole album is filled with tracks like that in their own way. So
I appreciate that.
Big fan. But I'm curious to know, what are some of your favorite tracks to perform?
Ooh, off of the album?
Just in general. But I mean, I definitely want to know some off the album.
So I'll start with off the album first. Lost and Found for sure.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Roses,
now I have to see you live.
Roses. Oh, I'm missing some. Let me see. Oh man. Some of them are a little bit newer, so it's like
you're still like
a lot of the time
learning through them. Yeah.
Next to God with me and Matt. And Redemption. That's my favorite one off the album.
Hell yeah.
That's my favorite song because it's actually sometimes you can speak your own like reality into existence. But then for sure, Austin 316.
Hell yeah.
That's the one that's off Attitude Era. That's based off of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I just went stupid on it. And I was like, that's my favorite for sure. That's how I start usually my shows.
Okay.
Just to get myself pumped up.
Yeah, you're just like, we're hitting it. We're hitting them hard with a good one right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's just wake you up. And I'll slow it back down. But the sleeper is the intro. Mirror Man. It's full, like, perspective on the things that I've gone through. It's me pointing out everything that I did wrong.
Yeah.
Or where I could have been better at. And that's probably the most important track because it's the intro, but it tells you exactly what I'm about to tell you. But in this just short amount of time.
You know, I think in general, an intro is lost on a live performance. Like people, they're not lost on a live, it's a lost art of live performances. Like how you come out to the stage, how you like introduce yourself through your music to people is so important. And like some of the biggest acts that I remember, half the reason I remember is because they opened up with something that like instantly made you go, well, this is it. Like I am not doing it. Like I will get a drink on the next performance or in between. I'm not using the bathroom. I don't care what it is. I'm staying right here. And so thank you for sharing that. That's really powerful.
No problem.
But now let's go ahead and let's talk about, actually, you know what? Before we talk about new music you're working on, let's highlight you as a producer a little bit.
Okay.
So do you like do stuff for other people? Do you mainly do beats for you? How do you like expand into that realm? And then more importantly, how do you like separate it in your mind for like when you're doing beats for yourself?
Ooh. can't wait to answer that part of the question. So I actually make beats for me and New Beginning Global.
Oh yeah.
It's me, Matt, 9-3, Davey, and Selah. That's pretty much the main guys. Then we got a bunch of our friends.
Yeah, you got people all over the place.
We got a whole bunch of guys. But I make it for them. Primarily, like, it's pretty cool that I get to actually do that. I've always wanted to just make beats for people.
Yeah.
Tried selling them early. Like, I'll probably eventually get there, right? But I want to be able to help you make music if you're good.
Yeah.
Right? So to have a group like that is dope.
Well, that and talented artists over your beats will make people pay more attention to your beats. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, man, why do all these people just consistently hit? Maybe it's the beats.
Oh, they grace the beats every time.
Yeah.
You know, it makes it worth it. Like, I'm blessed to be able to work with my guys. Like, these are my friends, like my real friends.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's a different thing that way.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing it for myself, it's kind of tough because I've always had this thing where I can hear my favorite rappers. I heard enough music, right? So where I might make a beat and be like, dang, what if Ice Cube got on this? Dang, what if Wayne got on this? What if Kendrick got on? Like, I do that a lot. But then I have to find that happy medium every once in a while. So I'll give myself, like, when I'm really into it, I give myself like 2 weeks to kind of make my own thing.
Okay.
I'm always going to make beats for them for sure, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of pick them out.
Yeah.
Take a couple weeks, pick them out, and just put them in a file. Like, okay, I'm going to rap to these.
Okay.
But it's fun now because just to give you a sneak peek, though, my friend, the homie Press Rewind, man, we got a little something coming soon. So,
ooh,
you know, that's going to be...
Well, we'll follow up on that one in just a moment. For sure. But I appreciate you going through that because that has always been the hardest part for me. Whenever it came to like making my own music, like by myself, it was always like I would start one thing and then I'd be like, I'm only like 1/10 of the way into this part of it, but I want to be doing that part of it, but I want to be doing this part of it. Like I couldn't separate the different elements enough to where I just kind of railroaded myself. So like finding that separation is an art form in and of itself.
It can be tough.
Yeah. But I am curious to know, like, tell us some of the new music you're working on and like kind of describe it for us. So like, how is it different from your previous stuff? Like, what are some of the characteristics and the styles and sounds we can look forward to?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, obviously we have our MBG album that's going to be dropping soon. That one that's like, you find that box that got the gold on the inside, you know, like all the old TV shows, and open it, it's like that's literally how I see it.
Hell yeah.
For all of us, like it's a really great project.
I'm not going to say I've heard it, but if I had heard it, I would say it's really good.
Yeah. But this next thing with Press Rewind, I've come out with a name for it. I don't want to give it. Well, you know, I'll give it out since I'm here.
Oh shit! Exclusive.
It'll be called the Griot.
Oh,
and
okay, good name.
And I'm going like back to like as if I'm a kid in New York. That type of feel. I'm gonna be kind of like taking that approach. I'm just gonna rap at your neck, man. I'm really about to come back and just rap.
Damn, hell yeah.
I feel like I've been talking about a lot about my life. And I still want to have those, those emotional tracks. You got to have them.
Oh, of course.
But for this one,
you don't always have to have them.
No, this one's about to be different, and I'm really going to work more. I'm gonna work my ass off, man, to really make sure I can really pin this right and make sure it's different than this other stuff. Different level, man.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. For sure.
I can't wait. I can't wait till I'm done.
Hell yeah! Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then looking at the last year, let's say, I mean, we don't have to do calendar year per se, but like all of last year to now.
Yeah.
In that time, how did your process change?
Well, I got with these guys.
Okay, so you met with them only like how long ago did you get with them?
Well, I've known Matt for a long time.
Yeah.
I just met 9-3 about a year ago.
Okay.
I'm one of my cousins is in the group, so that's my cousin, right? So it's different. And the rest of the guys are pretty much known, but I didn't have that chance to really kick it with them. Okay. And one night they called and it was like, you trying to make some beats? I was like, finally, yeah. Because I didn't make beat. I was thinking about actually not really doing it anymore.
Oh, no.
I had gotten to a point where I was like, I don't really...
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of effort I'm putting into this. I'm not really getting anything from it.
It's the ends justifying the means as like an investment of time.
Yeah, especially after I wrote my last project. I felt like I kind of said what I wanted to say in a way. and I wanted to get back to making the beats anyway, but it was just tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's like producer's block or something. It was weird.
Oh, it happens to the best of us.
Man. And I got the call, went to Matt's to record. We've been doing it literally for a year.
Damn.
Last June.
Is that the defining moment? Like, was like the one where you were like, I
came back.
Damn.
I woke back up.
That's awesome.
I woke back up, man.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's like getting my superpower back. It was actually felt really good.
Man, that does feel really rewarding.
Yeah.
And like, just like, I think everybody should take creative breaks from time to time. I think it's important. But like, when you find that thing that pulls you back in, especially when it's other people, that's really special.
Yeah. Yeah. I love working with them, man. When people really like rap,
mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of rap, period.
Yeah.
I'm just that guy. That's just what I am. I love R&B and soul and all that. Love jazz.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to rap, I might be the biggest fan, in my opinion. I love it, man.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like you get to have people that can do it that good. And you're like, I don't even have to get on this.
Yeah. No,
you want a project?
You could just experience it.
You want to make an album?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're my dog. Of course, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a great experience, man. It's been really, really cool. And I've had the most performances in the last year.
That's awesome.
With that too. So it's picking up some type of steam.
Hell yeah. And that kind of like goes back to something we were saying off camera where it's like, you don't always have to be exactly the front person to succeed.
Yep.
Like, like you're making beats for dudes who are like, because you're providing that, they are thriving in their space. So you get to be you the most in that respect. They get to be them the most in their respect. And you two come together and the most can only equal the most.
Yeah.
And so that's a really powerful experience.
Yeah. It'll change your perspective on music.
Very much so.
Especially in that space when I'm already like, kind of on the way out.
Yeah.
Me, at least for a couple of years. That's what I was thinking about. Let me just chill for a couple of years. I'll come back. I know I will.
Yeah.
And then, get the call. I'm already back.
Yeah. You're like, I guess,
you know what I'm saying?
I guess we're not taking a break.
Nope. It hasn't really stopped either.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that's special. And when you got a gift or you got a talent that you feel like is just kind of given to you in a way, you got to use it when you can.
Well, it almost sounds like music didn't want to let you go.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it sounds like you were like, maybe I'm ready to like put this on hold. And music was like, no, not yet.
Yeah, we're not done yet.
Yeah. You gonna stay.
Yeah, you got something else you didn't know that was up your sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And it just takes that sense of inspiration.
Yeah.
And just being around the guys. I'm even getting back to like producing by myself.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of harder for me sometimes now.
Yeah.
Life
gets in the way, I think, in kind of the strangest ways. But that's when having those bigger projects that like stand on something really come through.
Yeah.
Because like I do this all the time.
Right.
So like I wouldn't just do this for me. Like I do this because it like achieves something bigger than just me.
Yeah. But
like being able to work with other people, I think, is one of the most important parts of music.
It's true.
And so being able to find that in any capacity, I think, is always the key to a different type of success.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you sharing that.
No problem.
But now let's go ahead and let's take a step back. Let's look at all of music as a whole.
All right.
What are some of the things about like newer music or like newer things to you, at least, that you've been experiencing that you enjoy or find inspiration from?
Newer things. I will actually say taking walks.
Okay.
Seems very small, right?
Yeah.
But getting outside, sometimes you can get stuck just being inside, just in the four walls, just sitting there watching TV and being stuck on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And, going outside, breathing, getting some exercise, it's not done enough.
Yeah.
So I can say that's just the walks are nice for me. It's good therapy. You know what I mean?
Well, while that wasn't exactly the question I was asking, that's actually a really cool answer. So I'm going to leave it as the answer. And actually, it's cool because I used to speak of this a long time ago. I haven't really brought this up on the show, but a long time ago, me and one of my old singers put an entire album together. First album I ever like made one-on-one with somebody else.
Right.
And one of the things we would do is every session at like the halfway point, we would take a walk around the biggest block. Just like it just did. For some reason, this block was like 3.5 city blocks worth of block.
Yeah.
And that was part of it. Like anytime we were like, hey, you running out of steam? Yeah. it's time for a walk.
Yeah.
And that actually ended up being like way more productive in the long run. So that is really useful to know. And I kind of needed to hear that for myself. So.
Yeah.
But that's, again, neither here nor there. I don't want to dig on me too much.
No,
but I do want to re-ask that same question because I'm still curious. More what I was asking is like, what are some things in current music that like you're pulling inspiration from? So like newer sounds that you're hearing.
Yeah. Newer sounds. Honestly, I can say like reggaeton.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's just the rhythms. It's just how you can get people to dance.
Yeah.
Also EDM.
Mm-hmm.
EDM gets me.
Man, electronic music is bleeding into everything now. But like, I think it's cool because people finally understand it in a way where they're starting to use some of the technical aspects of it, and not so much just the specific sounds.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, I think electronic music was like, oh, it's got to have this element to be electronic music.
Yep.
Now there are so many tools that have come from the genre that are porting themselves into every genre. And I think it's making for some really powerful experiences, especially in a like free to create loosely live.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see like what the next 10 years of music look like with that respect.
Oh, it's going to be crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I think by like 2035, music is going to have a whole different ecosystem of like what people do within it.
It's amazing what you can do with music. Man, like my homie, one of my good friends, Kenny, he, loves EDM, loves it. One of my other friends, Zoe, is actually a DJ in the city. He does reggaeton, right? He mixes it with hip hop. Like when you hear them and you can see them kind of in their mode with it, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I actually ended up going to an EDM show and ended up going to 2. It was right. It's a great experience. It's 1,000 people in this small confined area, and we're all working together with fans because it's hot.
Yeah.
It's like there's camaraderie in the crowd. It's really crazy how it works. But everybody is there to enjoy themselves, get a drink, jump around, and have fun.
Yeah.
And it's actually a great experience. I love it.
It's also, I think, a good example of like how sound commands the room.
Yeah.
Because when it's, like respectfully, when it's just the DJ, there's not a visible performance from the person doing it per se. They are manning the decks. They are doing like, they have performance in their action, but the performance is what comes out of the speakers. And so like to be able to see and hear people respond to the changes in sound that like electronic music elicits, it's really kind of defining of like what the ears enjoy when translated to the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different.
Very much.
So. Especially when you get them jumping like that. It's another world in there.
Very
much. Gonna sweat. Oh, you definitely gonna sweat. Next time I go, I don't care how cold it is outside. I'm rocking a t-shirt and shorts. You gotta be careful.
You got to bring a change of clothes and leave it in the car.
No, for sure.
Yeah. For sure. And then you just run to your car as quick as you can. You change out of them, and then if you need a sweatshirt, there's a nice dry sweatshirt in the car for you.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. Because you can't be that guy bringing a towel.
No,
you can't bring a towel. That's just not how that works.
Switch it out.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
The air cool you off.
Yeah. Or just like, just be sweaty. Everybody else is.
Fair enough.
But that we'll get into a weird one if we dig into that for too much more. But let's go ahead and before we move on to the next portion.
Yeah.
This next question is probably the densest question in the interview. But we talked a lot about, your experience with music, the actions, the reactions. But when it's just you and music one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
Oh man, it fulfills my soul, to be real with you, man. Like it's a different type of thing. I've had some instances where like I got really sick. And the first thing that I could do for real when I got out of being sick or whatever was like listening to music, playing music. I actually wrote. It's funny. I actually wrote part of Deshaun's Way, a hospital bed.
Oh damn!
I got dehydrated really bad.
Damn.
Got food poisoning. And that was horrible. But I always come back that way. And it's like music is everything. It's very important to me because it gives me a purpose. And especially if I can write stuff and I guess kind of be an example in a way, or like try to give some type of good advice, or like speak to some people. Somebody has to hear something.
Yeah.
And somebody needs to hear something. So why not put it out?
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's really powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Got you.
Oh, yeah. But with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to some hypothetical questions.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
And for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well.
All right.
This first one's pretty straightforward.
All right.
If you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive. Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
Kendrick Lamar, Dr. Dre Studio album.
Okay.
Period.
Would you want to be on his album, have him be on your album?
We'd make it together.
Okay.
Joint album.
Okay.
Dr. Dre produced the whole thing.
Damn.
I'm good.
Damn. Yeah, that.
I don't want to touch a thing. It's all you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to make sure we release it though, because Dr. Dre, you want to perfect everything, but
yeah.
No, yeah, definitely.
Damn, that would be a powerful experience for sure.
Yep.
And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
Like for real, I would say, I would say Mike Capes.
Okay.
We've had like a beat session.
Yeah.
But I've never gotten to like
work
like
on
get
something.
in on yeah, and Mike Capes for sure.
Damn, that would actually be a really powerful collaboration.
That would be dope.
Everybody, you know what to do. Add them in the comments. Let's see if we can make that happen.
Man, that'd be dope.
Hell yeah. And then for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limit, and it's pretty literal in this sense.
Yeah.
But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power, it was guaranteed the best lineup, guaranteed the best show, and it doesn't have to be a venue. It could be anywhere. Where would you want to perform?
I would say San Diego.
Okay.
I was born there, but I've never gone back. So that would be super dope for me.
Yeah.
Go back to where it really started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except, we moved here in like 2 months. So.
I mean, like, hey,
back.
It's still the origin story.
Yeah.
Your birth certificate still says they're on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's definitely the place for sure.
Hell yeah. And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday. Who would you want an album from?
My brother.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother Anton for sure.
Damn.
He's my favorite.
Well,
always been my favorite. So, yeah, if he would come out of the retirement.
I was gonna say, everybody at him in the comments now. Let's make that happen.
Yeah, at Tom Bogan for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Damn. Now I want that to happen.
Yeah,
Other stuff.
I love him.
Well, we'll get him on the show and we'll re-inspire him.
Yeah, we can see.
Hell yeah.
Definitely tap in with him. See what happens.
But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. What can we look forward to between now and the end of the year?
So, New Beginning Global, we got the album God Turn Me Up coming out.
Which again, may or may not be really good. It's really good.
You got the Griot that's going to come out. 9-3 is going to be dropping too. So we got just a lot of MBG stuff that's going to be just coming out the woodworks. And then we're going to keep it going. We're going to stop.
Hell yeah.
That's simple.
Damn, definitely looking forward to all of that. Yeah. For this next one, go and look straight at the camera. Tell everybody how they can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram. Most importantly, that's pretty much where you're going to find me. SoundCloud, Bandcamp, that's where you can find the music. And the music will be up on all platforms very, very soon. Just got to do a little work on my end, but that's where you can find me.
Hell yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Shout out Matt 93, Selah, Xavi, G-Lo, Solomon, Brill, my parents, you know what I'm saying? Mom and pops, and really my whole family, man. I love y'all. And I don't just do this for me. So
hell yeah. And with that being said, we've got one last question to go. But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second. As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary and Ronald Records. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. Guarantee you're going to like them. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation.
All right.
But what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's a deep cut. It's one not a lot of people would know, but it's one you think everybody should know.
I'm going to actually go Scheme, The Statement.
It's not one I've heard of before, so now I have to check it out.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's one of my favorite albums for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for that. Like I said, anytime I hear one that I don't know, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I just I came across that one again the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm tripping.
I love stumbling across an album that you're like, wait, why haven't I listened to this in forever?
Oh,
like it hits different for sure.
Way different.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for that. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us.
Man, thanks for having me, man. It's been a pleasure.
Hell yeah. And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Marquise.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.